Importing events into this Sports Zone calendar is a slightly more advanced process, but it's going to save you a lot of time on the back end. You're going to go into your SchoolWires school editor and get into your calendar page. And up here you'll notice there's a tab that says Import Events. Now here I'm in football, so I'm going to see all of the previous imports that I've done for the football calendar. But your first step, you're going to click on Import Events. It's going to ask you to browse for the file, but this is where I go every single time to come up here and get a sample file in order to fill it in. So if you look up at the top, it'll say browse for your file, or click here to download a sample. So when I click here, it's going to automatically download my Excel spreadsheet, and I'm going to click it and open it up and move it over here, and this is what opens up. Now it's going to give you some sample information that's in here already. So all you have to do is highlight that and delete it. And now you can come in and you can type your information. So the very first game is the 26th. I'm going to put 7 p.m. I'm going to leave the end date and end time alone. And you can always expand these columns to be able to see it a little bit more. Now again, you want to make sure that you're putting in the sports, because all of the sports calendar entries are going to show in the Sports Zone calendar. So if you just put varsity versus El Paso Montwood, once volleyball and basketball and football, all of that gets in, and the community is not going to know which varsity you're talking about. So you want to put varsity football. Now this column is going to ask if it's an all-day event. It's not, so I'm just going to put a no. And it's going to ask no end time, and I just put yes for no end time, because that way you never know how long it's going to be. Then you can put your contact information, your contact email, and I'm going to expand all of these. Your next one is your contact phone number. And you don't have to fill in all of this information, but it is good to have for the community to see. And then you have your location, so this first one is going to be People's Bank Stadium. Your category is the most important. If you'll remember when we did the adding calendar events directly to the calendar, and we dropped down that box at the bottom and chose that it was an athletic event, that's what this column is for. Number 3, that is your athletic category. So if you will put 3 in all of your fields. You don't have to type a lot of this every single time, like your all-day event. Your all-day event and end time, I can highlight both of those and hit copy. And I can select this whole range and hit paste, and it's going to fill all of those in for me. Same thing over here with the contact information. That way you're not having to type it all the time. You can just copy and paste it, and that way it will make it a lot easier for you. Okay, so now I've gone through and I've filled out all of the information for our football team. You'll see all of the info is there. I have my varsity, my JV blue, JV gold, 9th, all the way down. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to save this file wherever you like. I'm going to go ahead and put it on my desktop, and I'm going to name it Football 1617 Import, and I'm going to hit save. It might give you this error and tell you some features in your workbook might be lost. Go ahead and click on yes. That's okay. You want it to stay in that format. So now we're going to go over into our website, and we're going to import this file into our calendar. So now I'm back into the site editor for my football calendar, and I'm going to come back up here to where I did before, and I'm going to go to Import Events, and I'm going to click on the green button. Now I've already created and saved it, so I'm going to come and double click and find that file, and I'm going to choose Next. This is going to ask you your mapping, just to make sure your start date maps with the start date in the file. You should be able to drop this down and choose FHS, and it should be set default for you. And I'm going to click on Next. Now it's going to show me all of the information, and I'm going to click Next again, and I'm going to click on Import. Now it's going to tell me success. I have 60 events imported. You saw that it said I had a couple of them that weren't imported. I'm going to come back over here and check. I do have 60 events. It shows 61, but that's because I have my header row up at the top. So what probably didn't import is it sees some of this and tried to import it, which doesn't really matter to me. So now I'm coming back over here into my calendar page, and I'm going to come and double check to make sure everything imported. Now all of the events imported, you'll see that they're coded as blue, so that way I do know it's an athletic event. The only thing that the import does not do is it does not share it to other calendars. So that is a big pain in the rear. You've got to now come into each one of these. This is 9th gold. So I'm going to post it to Sport Zone and add collection. And I'm going to do the same thing for JV and Sport Zone. Now I'll go through and do all of these later, but you'll also see varsity football. Just keep in mind when you share varsity football, that needs to go to the high school as well as the Sport Zone. So importing saves you a lot of time. Just don't forget to come back into your calendar and share all of these events with your Sport Zone calendar and or the high school main page. So that way it'll show up on the main pages as well as the FISD app.